Well, we kept thinking the 50th parallel, and thus Alaska, not thinking of the 50th state.
I see. So there's definitely some human little brain work and logic going into this.
Oh, tons of it. And that's where we usually foul up.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, as soon as you get with humans in there, man.
Right. You're off on that bad trail there.
You're just back on the bad trail. Well, why can't you just create a computer software program that will take the place of you so you don't have to make any bad decisions?
Well, that gets down to the point where you would then have to train the software to recognize linguistic archetypes and emotions and be able to know at a pretty much gut level that this level of emotion is going to trump that level of emotion, because all of this is based on emotional associations to words, and that's where it gets real tricky.
Yeah.
We can go certain distance, but so far every time we've attempted to automate the interpretation, our results have plummeted.
So do you have to go through some special discipline, spiritual, emotional, physical, mental yourself, Clif High, to stay as objective as you can with all this?
That's pretty much my approach.
Yeah.
What I do is I don't read prophecy or any of that. I try not to front load myself.
Yeah.
I also do a lot of meditation and this sort of deal, and try and get my cognitive mind calm and get my own emotions out of the way.
Yeah, good for you. Well, that's pretty exciting work, really.
Yeah, very tiring though.
Yeah. And you actually then, I heard, someone told me, I didn't read all this stuff, but then you had a period where then you just kind of said, I'm going to lay off for a while.
It's been a couple of months. Yeah, we're just starting back up again because universe keeps bashing me about the head, saying get to it. So
Yeah. So this is kind of your work, and you might as well do it if you.
Apparently, since universe is going to beat me up if I don't. Yeah.
As long as they're going to kick your ass, you might as well get it done.
Right. Just suffering one way or suffering the other. It's like, okay, I'll take the known level of suffering and just restructure it a bit.
That's right. I don't want to suffer lying in bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and say, how come I'm not doing this? Well, that's funny. All right, now we have a bunch of people listening now because somehow they're able to get on. God bless you all for being courageous and persistent in getting on. Once again, a quick word that we just got slammed the last 30 days or something. I don't know. It's just like exponentially people finding oneradionetwork.com. And so the website getting slower and slower, and we were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So now we have a new server that we're uploading all the MP3 files, and as you found out tonight, it's not there yet. So we suspect in a couple of days that you're not going to have any problems getting on, but I appreciate your persistence. Here's the phone number if you care to converse with Mr. Clif High, halfpasthuman.com, 888-663-6386. That is 888-663-6386. Coming in, don't be shy. And if you are shy, well, email works, patrick@oneradionetwork.com. Ask him anything you want except what number to play in roulette if you go to Vegas. I don't think he's going to...
No, we don't do that.
I don't think he's going to know that. Speaking of that, though, I have to ask you. Now, can you not use this... see, I'm an Italian, probably former mafia in a past life, so I'm going to ask this question. Yeah. Could you not use this technology to maybe make some good investments?
If you're thinking of it in a generalized sense, I'm certain that is the case.
Because
you're talking investments as opposed to gambling.
Yeah. So you could do geopolitics and that, which actually, of course, leads investments.
Correct.
Right.
And that's basically why our subscription base has been composed of the people that it has, because many of them indeed do just that. As an instance, we had this fellow that wanted some information about Brazil, so he paid us for a private run. We came up with some information. He went on down and invested in 3 companies. 6 months later, they made an oil strike, and he owned a large chunk of the 3 major oil discovery companies in Brazil. So he made out like the proverbial pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do that sort of thing. I can't bother myself with it because then I get my emotions involved in it, and it's a downward spiral.
Oh, I see. Come on, oil prices. Get up there, oil prices.
Yeah, or basically, no, I think gold's going to do this, and that would pollute my mind if I was looking at it and that kind of thing. So basically, my deal with Universe is that I'll do the work, and it provides subsistence at least an adequate level, and this way I don't have to worry about that, and I can do the work with a clear conscience and a clean mind, because I don't have an emotional attachment to the outcome of a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about the different service you offer. People want to know that. I had a couple of calls earlier today saying, well, how does his subscription thing work? They were asking me, and I said, I don't know, because I haven't done it yet.
Right.
But now I hear that you've lowered the cost.
We cut it by 90% on the last run.
Wow.
We used to have the barrier to entry at about $360.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that this was so was we wanted to make sure that the people that were buying in had more than enough disposable income. So we set the number very high so that if you were merely a prediction or prophecy addict, or you were afraid for the future but didn't have enough dollars, you would seriously think about it, because we don't want your money. Well, what we did was we ended up with a cadre of people that have a lot of money and make investments and stuff, and they did fairly well off of it. But Universe has redirected my attention on this, and so we cut the price on the last run to $36, and it's available at Half Past Human. You can go and purchase that. But future work here will start making new postings around the equinox, around June 21, and those will be $10 to purchase. And this is used to be a $70 subscription, and instead we're just going to sell them at $10 a throw, and if we can sell enough, then maybe we can figure a way to lower the price again. We're somewhat constrained by our bandwidth costs because we eat up large amounts of electricity and computer bandwidth.
And of course your time too, and you also have to buy vegetables. Is that what?
Well, I grow my own veggies, but I need olive oil and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you got to have some stuff. Well, that's very interesting. So then, folks, they can spring for one or two every now and then if they
as they choose, correct.
And then that's going to be valuable for them.
And they will decide after they've invested that $10 if it's valuable for them, and then they won't have to put 70 in and feel that they didn't get value out of 60, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And now if they want, for $36, they can buy our last run, which covers up through the fall of this year through about March of next year, somewhat intensively, at about 120 plus pages.
Wow.
So it's a lot of reading for $36, but you have to, if you buy it, don't blame me and don't be depressed.
Well,
because our service, we have to acknowledge something, and that is there's a built-in artifact in it. An artifact is something that you can't do anything about in your processing. It's just going to show up. Mm-hmm. Our artifact here is that we have an emotional association to words, but of course, the most extreme ends of the emotional associations are the ones that show up most often, and people don't write about good emotions as much as they do about bad emotions, so we have a tendency to concentrate on a dark view.
Is that right?
Yes, naturally. It's just an outcome of our processing. If more people talked about, light and happy things and this kind of thing to balance it out, then the processing wouldn't yield such a dim view of the future, I believe.
It's very curious you say that, because you can go to Alexa and kind of look at websites around the country, right? Around the world. Yeah. And they'll tell you, like, this website is number 350,000 out of every website in the world, which is a pretty good ranking. It's
sure, there's millions,
there's millions. But you can really see a lot of the really popular ones. They are more negative, if you will.
Oh yeah. And people have to express that negative emotion. They need somewhere to get that into that feedback loop with it. To some people, it becomes a compulsive or addictive part of their personality, but for just others, they've got it coming from Universe, and so they need to express it.
You mean they need to express it by expressing it?
Or by reading it? And
by hearing it or reading it, that helps them?
That does help them, right.
Really?
It validates their experience. There's a huge amount of cognitive dissonance out there. You look up into the sky and you see these airplanes spraying these giant white trails and creating fake clouds and mucking over your whole environment, and you go online and you say really angrily, what's going on here? Why am I being poisoned? Or what is the point of this? And everybody around you denies its existence. Basically it's who you got to call. You need the validation to say, no, you're not crazy. You are seeing that, and the world is officially denying it.
It's very interesting you mentioned that, because when we talk about chemtrails, wow, people love it to tune in.
Yeah, exactly. You're validating their personal experience of the reality of the planet that is denied in the official media.
I see.
Totally ignored that it might as well be officially denied.
And who's that fellow who's really into it? He's going to be on in a couple of weeks. He's like the foremost authority. Is it Thomas? Will Thomas? Do you know that?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm terrible with names and personalities. I remember what people write as opposed to who the author was.
Anyway, the foremost authority who's written the primer on chemtrails is going to be here, I think, in 2 weeks. I believe his last name is Thomas. My name is Patrick Timpone. We are with Clif High. Now's the time to come in if you'd like to ask a question about halfpasthuman.com and his work. 888-663-6386. A lot of you managed to get online. I don't know how you did it, but also emails are fair. Patrick at oneradionetwork.com. So laying the groundwork of what we said is you really make your living about giving away these kind of predictions. Well, can you still talk about some of the things that you know without cutting your grocery bill too?
Sure. That's not an issue for me because Universe supports me or it does not. And the minute the Universe stops supporting the work, then I won't do it and I'll go off and do something else.
Well,
I have other skills.
I like that.
And also my goal is to not create competition. So I don't, I have this weird relationship with Universe, and I said, okay, Universe, here's my rules, and it sort of agreed, and we've set out on this deal.